Hello, hello, folks. I've woken up a little bit. I've had to change my camera angle because the light is coming through my kitchen window and it's this big, massive glare. But we're up for a little bit of crocheting this evening. I've got my Stardew Valley blue chicken in the works. And if I get bored of it or if I finish it, I've also got a Monstera vine that I'd like to put back here for my backdrop that I'm working on. I started on that pot the other day during stream, but just never, I got like maybe 3 rows done. So yeah, so chicken and then Monstera vine. I also need to put the fins on the catfish at some point. Yeah. So how about we get back to Stardew Valley chicken? I've pinned the pattern in the chat. And it's luckily a free pattern from Ravelry. But, and I'm doing the blue one, of course. Um, yeah, I'm excited about this. I was talking to my students and they were asking me about Twitch and stuff like that, and if I streamed games too, and I'm like, no. And then I thought to myself, if I'm going to stream any game, it's going to be Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing. And I don't have the technology to do either of them right now. Like, I don't have capture cards. I don't have anything. And I don't even know, like, is it possible to stream from, like, the handheld Nintendo thingies? I can't even. Switches? Yeah, I've got a hold handheld Switch. Not even the new one, like the old one. That I play Stardew Valley on sometimes. Sometimes Graveyard Keeper, Animal Crossing. I did play Breath of the Wild for a while too. That's how long it's been since I've really done much as far as video games go. But I've been sticking pretty much to iPhone games. And I was on another big Farmville kick for a couple of months there, and I just kind of put that to one side recently. But we'll see when that comes back into my brain. So this Stardew Valley chicken is made with Bernat blanket yarn and a 6mm hook. The blanket, the color is lapis or lapis lazuli, depending on how you read the label. But I really like this. I really like this blue color. I like those blues that are close to grays. But yeah. Anyway. So tonight, I don't know how long I'll stream for. At least an hour. Um, just because I am exhausted. I have had a really weird week at work. I had 2 days of standardized testing. I had 1 day of a professional development seminar. Then I had 2 after school programs. I had to give tests today to my 4th graders. Hey ho. So I've had a can of cola. I've got another can of orange soda waiting in the wings. And we're just chilling. And I'm kind of wondering if I should put some music on. Like, I'm kind of in the mood for some music. Something that won't get me copyright striked. Stricken. But something I can just have on the background. So I think, oh, that's another row done. That's row 13 done. I think, and I was going to say, I was going to wait till I finish that one. But I just finished. So let's put on some music. So YouTube. Oh, yeah. See, I can't do it from my phone because I need to check out your little chat on the phone. So that's a bummer. What could I do? How about, can I stream it from my laptop? Would that work? I don't see why not. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, and there it is right there. Yeah, it doesn't seem it lets me speak. Oh, hang on. Unmute. There we go. Okay, so this is from Solace Crossing on YouTube. It is their lo-fi playlist of Animal Crossing background themed type music. And I definitely suggest you check those guys out. So back to crochet, but I think it is orange soda time. Ugh. I'm definitely one of those teachers that does not drink enough water, so I don't need to go to the bathroom many times during the day. Because that stereotype is true that teachers like get 1 or 2 times a day to really use the bathroom. So you learn to kind of not drink as much, which isn't really great for you. That's why I get a lot of headaches, I think. So Stardew Valley. Making this chicken kind of makes me want to play the game again. And I'm not an expert in it by any means whatsoever. I just love those kind of cozy games like Stardew, like I said, Animal Crossing. I like a Graveyard Keeper, even though it's a bit of a weird one, a bit of a morbid one. I think I'm going to move up my stitch marker just so I can see a bit better. There we go. Okay. So it's Friday night, and we're hanging out here on Twitch because we know where the real fun is. I've never been a go out on the weekend type of person. My wife and I used to do dates on Friday nights, but our schedules just don't work out right now. Like, she is currently with our son at his parkour class. We're at that stage of parenthood where just we're like 2 ships passing in the night, but we'll make it work. We always do. Okay. So this Stardew Valley hen, I don't have burnout red. I don't even know if I have some kind of like, I could maybe do gray. I don't know. Let's have a look at what the actual blue chicken from Stardew looks like. Blue chicken Stardew. All right, his crest is purple. His crest is purple. So I will have to find some purple yarn in my stash, and I might need to double it up just so it's as thick. Hi, baby. My dog Cadbury's come to say hi. Hi. Hello, big girl. She probably wants to jump on my lap right now. She likes coming up and seeing you guys, but... Or she's probably telling me it's getting close to bedtime. Because she would, if it was up to her, I would be in bed now. And we'd be cuddling and going to sleep. But it's too early. I'm going to stay up and stream for a little while. You big girl? Yeah? Okay. Want to hang out with me, or are you going to go see your big sister? Where's Karina? Is she on the couch? She's probably sleeping on the couch. Don't eat my yarn. Oh, I know it moved. All right, enough the dog talk. Back to crocheting. So Friday night on Twitch. What are we doing tonight, guys? I'm really stoked that I'm up to 10 followers now. So I've met my second goal. I think now it's the next goal reasonably should be 25. Um, I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get. I've only been streaming, I think this is like my 8th or 9th day streaming. And I've got 10 followers, which I'm super stoked about. Okay, and one more stitch, and then I'll call that row done. 14 is done. 15, 16, and 17 are left. Oh, I see how it goes. That's kind of a bit of a tiny chicken. Maybe I will make a second one. So yeah, I'm hoping, let's finish the Stardew chicken. I'll have to go dig for some purple yarn. And then work on the Monstera, is what I'm thinking. The catfish didn't quite come out how I wanted it to come out. So I'm a bit on finishing it up. But my kids seem to like it, my students. Okay. So how is this document camera working out for me lately? What I don't want it is to turn into a boob cam. Like, because I know I crochet with my stuff right up against my boobs. I just don't want to turn that into a boob cam. Yeah, so my students are quite proud that I've got 10 followers on Twitch now, and I have 10 subscribers on YouTube, I think. 10 or 11. So I'm pretty happy. Don't know where I'll be next month. Don't think it really matters too much to me. I'm just doing this because I think it's fun. I crochet anyway. I like having conversations. And I like hanging out with people with similar interests online. I'm not much of a social person in real life. I think all of my social energy is used up when I'm in teaching mode. But I'm really cool with just chatting into space at my lurkers. And if you are a lurker, that's totally fine. I'm a lurker too. When I'm watching streams that I enjoy, I'm pretty much a lurker. It's something I'm learning to kind of get out of that habit. But okay. Almost done with another row. And that's row 15 done. 2 more rows, and then we move on to the next part of the pattern. Even larger chicken. Okay. Yeah, it's looking good so far. I'm happy with it. So I think what happens is you end up like doing one of these things where you sew up the middle and it kind of squishes down. Let me have a look at the picture. Yeah, it's almost like a U. I love it. It looks good. Yeah, so purple cone. I'm going to need beak colors, and I've already got some safety eyes that will be perfect for my little chicken friend. I wonder what my students will name this chicken. because between the two different grades, they can never agree on what my things are called. So like the sharks, like the one in my profile, I have three now. I have the one that's in my profile is a bigger one. He's like the size of a basketball. And I made a smaller one that's about the size of a cantaloupe. And then I just finished a third one who's also, again, the size of a cantaloupe, but she's got a girly pink bow on her head. So my third graders call the big one Big Chungus. They call the little one without the bow Baby Chungus because it's the smallest of the three. And then my new one is Princess Chungus, which I think is quite adorable. And then my fourth graders are starting to get into the whole Chungus idea, but for a very long time, and there's still one student who is very adamant about their versions of the names. It's Daddy Shark, Sister Shark, and Baby Shark. Quite creative, eh? But like it makes me smile. My fourth graders got to use my sharks today as like comfort items, Friday chill out items, where they just kind of chill out on them in class. And the nice thing about the big one is that you can have it on your desk in front of you and like put it under your neck. Let me show you with this. So if this was like Big Chungus, you could do one of these and be really comfortable with it. Like I would love to do that while I'm working. That's such a comfortable position for me. And you're still kind of engaged with what's going on in front of you. And it's a nice, like, sensory kind of softness there. When my kids do well, I give them opportunities to let loose a little bit. I work with phenomenal teachers, and some are better than others when it comes to modifications and accommodations for special education students. But I'm working on it. I'm getting there. And at the end of the day, my kiddos seem to like me, and they will take academic risks for me. And that's what helps. All right, we are on another row done. That is row 16. One more row, and then it's the next part of the pattern. All right, let's do this up. So I've got some pretty exciting news that I found out, well, that's kind of become official recently. So long story short, my wife is from England, and when we got married 10 years ago, I moved out there. And I lived in England for 8 years, and about 4 years into it, my wife and I had a son. I gave birth to him out there. So my son is a British citizen with dual citizenship. My wife was originally just a UK citizen, but when we moved, we ended up moving back to America when my son was 5 because the immigration laws changed as far as same-sex marriage goes. She was able to get a spousal visa. So we all moved back here, and about 3 years ago, she got her citizenship. So my wife is a dual citizen with the UK. My son is a dual citizen with the UK. And my son is also a pretty good track athlete. And I'm not saying this to kind of blow his own horn, but he ranks nationally as a freshman in high school with other high school students. So like he's 15, and he's running against 18-year-olds. And he competes in nationals, and he does pretty well. But this summer, he's competing back in England. So my wife and my son are flying out to England at the end of June to compete in a competition over there. And that is a qualifying event for under 16 nationals in England. So if he qualifies, he will be flying back out there in July to compete. So I'm really proud of him for that. Um, I work during the summertime. I teach summer school. I also do some tutoring. So I'm going to stay home to save us money, mostly, because 3 flights is really expensive. 2 flights is ridiculous enough, but 3 flights is pretty expensive. And I've got 2 dogs that we got to take care of. And I've got guinea pig and the bird. So we have to hire a pet sitter or someone to like stay in the home. So I'm staying home this summer. The wife and son are flying out to England to do some competitions, some meets. And I'll be hanging out with you guys streaming during the summertime. I still have 26 school days left. 26 or 27. I think today was 27 days left. All right. That's row 17 done. We're getting there. Okay, so let's read the next part of the pattern. Okay. Where'd it go? Cut yarn, leave tail to stitch chicken together by using a darning needle through 1 loop on one side and then 1 loop from another side. So like, okay. Sew about halfway and fill with polyfill. Place 2 rows down and 3 or 4 stitches apart. It is not for blah 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 eyes. Okay. So I have to tie off and leave enough of a tail to stitch this baby up. Okay. So, question of the day, where are my snips? Where are my snips? Where are my snips? Oh, I think they're in my basket that I've got on the floor holding. They are. I just have a plastic basket that I keep all of my streaming crochet stuff in. And right now it's holding the big giant ball of burlap blanket so it doesn't roll around my floor. Okay. Let's get back set up here. What's the string I am cutting? I'm cutting this one. Okay. Tie that baby off. That is done. Okay. Sew up about halfway and fill with polyfill. Okay, so where are we doing this? Like this? Yeah, okay. Sew up halfway. Darning needle. So I've just got your, run-of-the-mill plastic darning needle that a lot of people, I've got literally like hundreds of them downstairs in my basement because a long time ago, like 10 years ago, I used to sell crochet supplies online under my own white label. And I still have quite a bit of leftover stock, but yeah. All right, so we're going to start there. And we're going to sew halfway across. And then we're going to start to fill this baby up. I'm just going to do a whip stitch, I'm thinking. Okay. I need better light. Oh, let's turn my document light on. Here we go. That's better for me. There we go. I'm wondering if I should do a back loop only on this one, or if I should just do both. What's it look like in the picture? Of course I closed the link. Ravelry, there you go. What did they do in the picture? Here we go. It looks like a pretty seamless join, so I'm going to do back loops only. Let's do that. Okay. Get back to my position. And again, the struggle is real with dark colored yarn. I don't have like studio lights or anything like that. I'm relying on um, my living room, or no, my office room light, which is, your generic room light, and this little tiny document camera's light. And definitely makes things harder with dark colored yarn. So hello to my lurker friends that are hanging out. Um, don't worry about saying anything. I'm very much a lurker when I watch streams. Um, sometimes I wish I had the guts to interact more, but I feel most comfortable just kind of chilling out and watching people do their own thing. So don't feel like you have to talk. If you could follow, that's always a way to help me out. But I'm just going to keep chatting, whether you decide to or not, and it's really okay. Okay. Probably got 2 or 3 more chicken stitches. And then I'll have to run and go get the polyfill because I put the polyfill back in the living room because I thought I was done with it. But chicken. Oh, this one's a tough one. This one's misbehaving. Okay. All right. I am going to go and run to the other room to get my polyfill. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Oh, can I show you? Can I show you my blanket? You like this? I made this. This is a stitch sampler blanket that I made this winter time, and it's been living on my couch for a while. But I thought it would be a nice little cozy piece to have on my streamer setup. Okay, so polyfill, good old polyfill, and the stick. Polyfill for me is one of those things that I feel like is a never-ending box or a bag of just stuff. So I'm pulling out small chunks of my polyfill because for me it's easier to stuff in small chunks. And let's get stuffing. Okay. So I'm up to 3 lurkers on YouTube. It's my first time YouTube streaming today. I did a little bit earlier today just to kind of try it out and see what it's like, but I think this is my first like legitimate official stream. Okay. Do. Polyfill, polyfill. I probably should have Stardew Valley music on in the background for this since we're doing a Stardew chicken. And I wonder how tight you need to stuff this. Let's see if there's any instructions in the pattern. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't say to like fill it a lot, fill it a little. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures of the chickens in the pattern, and they look pretty chunky. So let's see what comes of it. And they definitely have a filled head. So let's get some fill in there. And this is going to be their flat part. my middle of my chicken seems to be kind of coming in a bit, so let's do some more filling. Get some more down in that bottom. Shape it a bit. Okay. How do you get that little dip in the chicken is what I'm wondering. I think I need to really stuff this head. And then, looks like that row is weird. I wonder if I decreased by mistake, like inadvertently decreased somewhere. Okay, so the head is pretty solid. I definitely need some more for the body though. Polyfill chunks. Alright, I'm hoping that'll do it. Okay. I think that's getting there. Let me put this fiberfill to one side. Now I have fiberfill all over my keyboard. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the picture of the from Ravelry. So there should be a link. Did I put the link back into Twitch? Is it pinned? Yeah. So if you look at the Stardew Valley pattern that I've pinned in my Twitch chat. Sorry, Facebook, not live. Sorry, YouTube guys. I haven't pinned that for you. So let me. Should I do that? I am going to put the link in for you guys in that chat. So just bear with me a second while I go find that link for you. Stardew Valley chicken pattern crochet. And it's a Ravelry pattern. There it is. All right, YouTube friends, I am coming. Stardew Valley chicken pattern. There you go. All right. So my friends in the YouTube chat, you guys have the link in there. And then my friends in the Twitch chat, you guys have it pinned to the top. Right. So what I'm trying to do is figure out how I can get that shape. Because it's definitely not a straight across kind of shape. And mine is very straight across. And I'm wondering if I need to kind of finagle some stuff a little bit. Like if I'm going to need to pin it somehow. This bottom needs to be flatter, that's for sure. Okay, let's close her up. Let's finish stitching her up and see what it looks like. Because I might have to do some like tacking or something. We'll get it to work. I'm wondering if the Ravelry pattern has any reviews or something on it. Yeah, I mean, it's voted well. It's 4.8 and 4.7. I don't know. It just seems more round to me. Let's just do it. I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to finish making the pattern and we'll play with it and get it to work. Okay. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. So to make this look more like a seamless join, I'm doing back loops for each of the sides. So if you've got it lined up, you've got your 2 stitches and then the gap and then your 2 stitches. I'm crocheting in the stitch that's closest to me and the stitch that's farthest away from me and joining those together. And that gives you more of a flat join. If I were to do both sets, so if I were to like sew through the 2 that are close to me and the 2 that are far away from me, you get like a lip in the crochet, and that's not what this pattern has. Okay, couple more stitches. And then we can play around with the fill and see where I can get it to work. Okay. I'm happy with that so far, so I'm going to tie off where I'm at. Where are you? And there we go. And then tie that. Here we go. That's a better knot. I think I'm going to do one more. I can hear my son's bird wanting to come out for the evening. She's pretty on time today too. She usually comes out about 7:30. But since I am home today by myself, I'm not taking her out quite yet. What usually happens is that my dogs will go to bed at around this time, and we'll close the door to my bedroom so they stay in there. And then we let Birch, that's the name of my son's conure, Birch come out and free fly for a few hours. But neither of my dogs are with me right now. They're both on the living room couch. I don't want to disturb them. And my son, it's Friday night, so I know my son's going to be up late, so she can fly around when he gets back from parkour. So I'm poking in, I've tied off the end, and now I'm poking it back into the animal. This is how I like to, I don't weave in my ends on stuffed animals. I do not, and I poke it into the animal itself. And this one's not cooperating right now. Okay, there you go. Now it's going. Almost there. Okay. And we're in. And then this little tiny bump that's from the tie off will get covered with the little crest part. Right, so this is my worry. This is supposed to be the head and this is supposed to be the tail. And I'm not getting that vibe. I'm wondering if I have to squish down a bit. Stretch it out a bit. That does help. That helped. She's looking a bit more chicken shaped. Here we go. That's so much better now. Look at that. I've got that U. That's much better. Okay. I need to find purple and orange, and I need to get my safety eyes. So I'm going to be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to go to get purple yarn, some beak colored yarn, and my bag of safety eyes. Can you guys watch my chicken while I'm doing that? I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is going to take longer than I thought, so I'm going to give you guys the waiting screen. Bear with me a minute. Guys, I'm kind of debating what to do, and I'll get you guys' opinions on it. This is my purple. I've got a purple. It's real. It's something I got from like a stash of yarn from somebody's garage. It's made in Iceland, ice wool. It's got that kind of purple color that I'm looking for. I wonder what it's made of. Got a lot number. It's sized. Pure wool. Moth-proofed with Ulon. Oh, look at the little sheep. Look at the glare. There's like little sheep on it. How cute is that? Okay, so we'll do this for the crest. My problem is that I don't have a brownish, yellowish that to me says beak. I've got this yellow, which might work. I've also got that buff color that I was working on yesterday. Here we go. This one, which is a more brown kind of color. I think the yellow comes across more beak-like. So I think that's what we're going to go with. So we've got the crest, the beak, and then I grabbed my bag of safety eyes, and that's all set. And Birch is still screaming. Okay, so let's find this end. Am I going to get yarn barf? No. Oh, look at that pull. It's an outside pull, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. That wrapper is so cute. Okay. So we need to figure out what the directions are for the comb. Clear out my needle. Have a drink. Okay. Coxcomb instructions. Okay, in a contrasting color, insert the hook in the head wherever you deem the best placement is. Chain 1. Okay. The back of the comb to the chicken, make a knot and hide the tails. Okay. Let's do this. This is the head to me, this part right here. Still making her U shapes. Okay. Okay, let's go full screen with this pattern. Okay, it looks like I start, where should I start this? Oh, chicken people. Okay, there's a top view. It looks like it's about here. So I'll insert it. Yep, that's perfect right there. Okay, excuse me. Insert the hook and the head wherever you feel the pace with this and chain 1. Okay. But of course I didn't, put my actual yarn on the hook. That would be silly. Maybe. Let's do that now. Got that on. And then I'll do a slip stitch to secure it in. Okay. Chain 1. Okay. 3 double crochets in the first stitch. So this is going to be the first stitch. Ooh, this is very squeaky yarn. Oh, that's not a double crochet. Let's try that again. Okay. 1 double crochet. 2. You gotta come over there, string. 2 double crochet. 3 double crochet. Okay. 2 or 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay. 1 2 and 3. There we go. I think 3 does look better. Okay, so that's done. Chain 1 slip stitch into the chicken to attach the back of the comb to the chicken. Okay, make a knot and hide the tails. So we're slip stitching this baby in to the next. Where's your next one? Here we go. Slip stitching this in. Oh, that's not, that way too loose. Let's try this again. Slip stitching her in. That's better. Come on, there you go. And I always like to, I'm going to chain 1 just to knot it in. Make a knot and hide the tails. Make it a little longer. You can always cut it. I want to do another outside knot. And then I'll shrink it down. Oh, maybe I don't need to shrink it down. Okay, look at this. Now let me see what it looks like compared to the original. Okay, not too bad. There we go. It's a little narrower than the one on the pattern. But all in all, I think I like it. Okay, that needs to be secured in. Where is a tinier crochet hook? All right, let's feed you through and knot you up. Because you're making me a little anxious just hanging out there. Okay, that's knotted now. Okay, let's poke in the ends for the instructions. Polka polka. Which hole am I going into? Right there. Polka polka polka. I'm doing this with my darning needle, and I might switch over to that chopstick, but oh no, here we go. It's caught finally. There we go. All right, the front of the head is in, and then we got to get the back of the head. It looks like the hole right there. Here we go. Oh, this is dark wool on dark wool with not enough light. I'm taking the big guns out. The big guns being the polyfold chopstick. Almost in there. All right, here we go. Right. I think the next thing I need to do are the eyes. So let me see what proportion these eyes are to the body. Okay. So here's my chicken's head. Let me get some eyes out to look at sizes and whatnot. All right, Miss Chicken, you're going up there for a second. So I've got my bag of eyes, and I'm thinking the 8mm will be good for her. Yeah. Yeah. Just my regular old 8mm. And do I still have my little safety eye weapon? I had it last night. Is it in my basket? No. All right. We're free ball on this one. Let's place some eyes and see what comes of it. So I've got my 2 eyes and my 2 washers. Thank you, safety eyes. All right. Let's get some placement on here. I think they actually came with instructions on eye placement. I've just realized how they got it to pull up. So the directions were, you're gonna, when you're closing up the chicken, going through 1 loop on one side and then 1 loop from another side. So you're making like an S pattern. And then when you pull that taut enough, it'll bunch the ends up. I did not do that. And that might be why my chicken is less U-shaped. And I'm relying more on the shape of the what do you call it? The stuffing. Right. We will worry about shape last because I can always pin back and do it that way. But eyeballs. Let's sort out eyeballs. Place two rows down and 3 to 4 stitches apart. Okay, so yep, and about there. Like that. Is it that low? What do you guys think? Hers are more spread up. The batter makers are more spread apart and on the sides of their heads, which makes sense because they're chickens and their eyes are more on the sides of their heads. Oh, safety eye overboard. 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Okay, that's definitely more chicken-like. Okay. So the problem I have now is Ridiculous me. Should have put the eyes on before I completely stitched her up. And I've had this problem before, where I'm just going to end up finding a gap in the stitches, making that gap slightly bigger for a short period of time, and then just slipping in the washer that way. Because what I don't want to happen is the back of the chicken's head to be pushed forward. So let's see if I can do this. Ooh, okay, there's one. I need to get her back inside the head. Yep, okay, that's good. And now I gotta push it in all the way. There we go, that works. Okay, one in. And the gap's not that bad. Okay, next one. Same thing. What I'm doing is I'm pushing the back of the eye through a bit of a gap in the stitches. Oh, that's not a good one. I need to find a different gap. See, really, this hole would be the best. There we go. That's a better one. I do make things too hard for myself. Oh, goodness. No, I'm not going to undo it, right? I'm not going to undo it. There we go. That's better. Okay. Washer in. One click. All right. One click in. Let's push it back inside. And then finish the clicks. There we go. Perfect. Chicken eyes done. Okay. Beakus. Between his eyes, 2 horizontal stripes. Okay. Let's cut some yarn and see if we can do this. Okay. So I think, how do I want to do this? Their beak is 1 stitch under their eyes and 1. It looks like either even with the top. Okay. And because they're using a thicker burnout, they're just going to do 2. I think I'm going to need to double up or triple up on the thickness here just to make it look like it's got a bit of a thicker beak. What did I do here? Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, like that, and like a little bit under. And let's do a third. Okay, line that one up. Oh, I think that looks good. Just like that. Just like that. That looks great. Okay, so how am I going to tie this off? Can I do this? Is this possible? No, it's not going to work like this. What do you think? How does that mouth look to you guys? What are you thinking? It's a bit crooked, but I think it can work. Okay, so I'm gonna tie the knot off gently, gently. Gently, gently. Not to pull too much. Okay, cut off the extra with my really shitty scissors. Oops, sorry, crappy scissors. And let's poke it in. Let's try it with the crochet hook first. Good. Oh, perfect. Okay. Nope. Switching back over to the chopstick. Okay. Okay. What I'm wondering if I need to stitch here. Got some length of blue left. I'm going to loop so it goes and pulls down like that. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. I think I want to go from the bottom up. So I'm going to, this is where I wish I had one of those giant darning needles. Here we go. Okay. Got a little bit out. And then I'm going to go into the stitch next door. Try to end up somewhere close to where we started. Okay. Got that one. Okay, and take that off. That's better. That's giving me more chickeny vibes. Wish its head was a little bigger. Okay, tie off the bottom, stick it in the butt. Time to stick it in the butt, stick it in the butt. It's not wanting to play today. There we go. Just took a little warming up. Okay, that one's in, almost. Get the next one. Which hole are you going in, buddy? That one? Okay. Exciting work, this, isn't it? Bet you guys didn't think you'd be tuning in today to see someone sticking a chopstick up a stuffed chicken butt. I should clip that, Christ. Anyway. I've lost my hole now. See, this is what I get for being sarcastic. Come on. There we go. All right, 2 in, 1 more to go. Where are you going, buddy? Looks like that's the hole right there. Get in the hole. Wasn't that an SNL thing? Go back to your hole or something like that. I don't know. Or a Ren and Stimpy thing, maybe? I don't know. All right, Miss Chicken. You are done. Oh my goodness. My chicken is done. What do you guys think? Wonder what they'll call her. Big fat chicken. Get her over that way so I can kind of have her sit a bit. There we go. Hello, chicken. We have a new friend for my classroom. It's been a bit of an abundance lately because today they got Princess Chungus. Monday they'll get this blue chicken. I don't know. I think it's time for me to work on something for my house and not my classroom. But anyway, all right, blue chicken, you're going up there for now. I'd show you. I have like a 2-level desk right in front of me, and she's right there. Okay, so let's do a bit of tidying up. I've got my basket down there to work on my Monstera, but I want to get everything else tidied up first. We don't need any more fiber fill. Sorry, polyfill, so that can go back in. Chopstick can go back in. Let's pick up all my little cut scrap pieces and get those in the trash. Clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody, do your share. Okay, put the needles back, put the cover back on my snips and put that in its little place. Okay, so I am done with these yarns. I'm going to go put them back in my yarn stash and then be right back. Let's get to the Monstera. So I can close out this pattern, and now I need to bring up my Monstera pattern. Good old Google Drive. Here we go. Monstera plant. And I'm going to switch out my pinned post. Oh, I've got little pieces of polyfill all over my keyboard, and I don't like it. Monstera plant pattern. Here we go. Pin that one up. Okay, we are good. Now, folks in my YouTube chat, do you want the Monstera pattern too? Let me know if you do, because that'll take a little bit longer to pin. Okay, so when last we were working on Monstera pattern, here we go. I got all my supplies. So for this pattern, I'm using a good old reliable Red Heart Super Saver in the color Buff. This one feels especially squidgy. And then I have a 3mm hook. Again, the kind with a silicone on the end. And then we are working on the pot of the pattern. And this is a super tight stitch. Holy smokes. Okay. So according to my sheet, we are on row 4 of the plant pot. Let me close out some windows. Where did you go, plant pot? Nope, that's not what I wanted. I could have sworn I just opened up that pattern. Okay. So row 4 is 2 single crochets and then an increase times 6. And I think I'm going to start pinning this because my brain and counting tonight aren't really getting along. Okay, so there's the end of my row. So row 4, 2 single crochets, 1 increase. Let's rock it. Get you guys in a good position to see what I'm working on. That's a good spot. 2 single crochets, and then an increase. So this is just a standard circular increase where you're adding 1 single crochet between the increases for each round. 2 single crochets and an increase. I can hear this yarn. 2 single crochets and an increase. Two single crochets and then an increase. Two singles and an increase. Why do I keep losing this pattern? This is so weird. Oh, there we go. Increase. 2 single crochets and an increase. Okay, and mark the end of that one. Row 4, done. Row 5, 3 single crochets and then an increase. One, two, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. Oh, I need some more wool, please. There we go. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. And it looks like one more set. 1, 2, 3, and increase. Okay, row 5 done. Woo! Looks good so far, right? Row 6. Row 6. I think I'm going to do row 6, and we're going to call it a night because I'm tired. I know it's only 8. I'm an old woman. Right, row 6 is 4 single crochets and an increase. Mark my end. 4 single crochets and an increase. So thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I do appreciate it. Whether you're watching me on Twitch or on YouTube, I would love, love, love if you could give me a follow. I'm trying to make affiliate on Twitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to make affiliate on Twitch. I'm trying to get more followers on YouTube. And even your single follow or subscription or whatever you want to call it is helpful to me. And of course, I'm talking and losing my space. Double. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an increase. One, 2, 3, 4, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. And one more set. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. Okay, let's mark that one off. Row 6 is done. So my plan for tomorrow, like I said earlier in the stream, taking my son to practice in the morning. I'm hoping to get on maybe early afternoon and then maybe another one later on in the evening. But again, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm still a newbie streamer, so every chance I get to interact with you guys and just hang out and crochet and chat is really important to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.